Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive,
Oh.
where we like to dig into the lives of some of today's most talked about figures
Mhm.
and try to figure out if they are truly changing the world or just maybe really good at playing the fame game. Today we're diving into the world of Gabi Toth, a Hungarian singer and media personality who's been making headlines for both her talent and, well, let's just say, her dramatic flair.
Yeah, she's definitely someone people have strong opinions about. We've got a whole stack of articles, her Wikipedia page, and just tons of online buzz about her. Our mission today is to figure out if she's a true visionary or maybe more of a clever con artist. Is she genuinely changing the world or just lining her pockets?
Hmm, interesting. Okay, so for those who might not be familiar with the Hungarian entertainment scene,
Mm-hmm.
who exactly is Gabi Toth?
Well, her Wikipedia page is a good place to start, I think. It says she first came on the scene back in 2005 with an album called Fakét Virag, which translates to Black Flower.
Black Flower.
Yeah. And since then, she's represented Hungary in the Eurovision Song Contest twice, actually,
Yeah.
in 2012 and 2017.
Wow, Eurovision. That's a big deal.
Huge. And she's won a ton of awards for her singing.
Wow. So she's got the talent to back it up then, it sounds like.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it's not just singing either. She's been a judge on X Factor, kind of like the Hungarian version of the X Factor. And just recently, she was a contestant on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. But those appearances have actually caused a lot of controversy lately, which we'll get into a little bit later.
Okay, so we have this picture of a talented, successful woman who is definitely comfortable in the spotlight.
Yeah.
But lately it seems like the headlines have been more about her personal life than her professional achievements.
Yeah, that's true. Her recent divorce from Gabor Kraus after
Mhm.
4 years of marriage was all over the Hungarian tabloids.
I can imagine.
Like Blick and Borsenline, those especially,
Yeah.
seem to just eat it up.
It's funny how the media always seems more interested in the personal drama than the actual work these celebrities do.
Yeah, it's really something.
I guess that's part of what makes this deep dive so interesting, though, right? Trying to separate the person from the persona.
Totally. And it gets even more complicated when you bring in her current relationship with Máté Bence,
Who's that?
her dance partner from Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, right.
All the tabloids went crazy speculating about their chemistry on the show. And there were even some, let's just say, suggestive photos of them together at a summer camp that Femina.hu published.
Oh, so she fell for her dance partner.
Right,
Classic.
right.
But, okay, so seriously, though, what does this whole whirlwind of romance tell us about Gabi Toth?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Does it mean she's ruthless? Or maybe she just loves attention? Or could it be that she's just moving on with her life after a hard divorce? It's easy to jump to conclusions when you just look at the headlines and the rumors, but we need to really look deeper, I think.
Okay, so we've got this successful career and then a pretty messy personal life. And then on top of all of that, there's this whole controversy with the Dancing with the Stars judges that seems to have blown up in a major way. Where do we even start with all this?
Good question. I think that Dancing with the Stars thing is a good place to start, actually, because it might tell us something about how Gabi handles criticism and about her personality. A lot of news sites covered this, by the way, like nlc.uu, blick.promotions.u, and Seretlik-Magyarzag.hu.
So this was a big deal then.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
So what exactly happened?
Well, she basically accused the judges of being completely biased and unfair, and even bullying her.
Whoa.
In one Blick article. She's even quoted as saying, "They didn't want me to win." And she even said she wouldn't go back to TV2, the network that airs the show.
Wow, that's pretty intense. I know reality TV can be rough sometimes, but accusing the judges of bullying, that seems a little extreme.
Right. It makes you wonder if that's really how she felt, or if it was more of a calculated move,
Oh, interesting.
like to get sympathy
Right.
or distract from how she was doing on the show.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
So is this something she does a lot?
Yeah.
Plays the victim? Or was this a one-time thing? I'm really curious to see what else we find out about her today.
You know, it's interesting you say that about a pattern, because there are actually some similarities between how she reacted to the judges and some other controversies that have surrounded her.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, remember all those rumors about her relationship with Máté Bence?
Her dance partner?
Yeah. There were even some people saying that she might have started seeing him before her divorce from Gabor Kraus was even final.
Oh, yeah. The tabloids definitely had a field day with that.
For sure.
But it was all just rumors.
Right.
Nobody ever actually confirmed anything happened.
True. But it's interesting how Gabi responded to all of that. Instead of just denying it, she kind of leaned into it, you know?
Like she liked the attention.
Maybe. She was seen out with him a lot. and they were pretty affectionate in public, which obviously just made the gossip worse.
So maybe she's not afraid of a little drama?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Maybe she even enjoys the attention.
It's possible. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time a celebrity used controversy to stay in the spotlight.
Right.
Good press, bad press. It's all publicity.
That's true. But isn't that a little cynical, though? I mean, maybe she really did fall for this guy.
Yeah.
And didn't care what other people thought.
Oh, absolutely. That's totally possible.
Or maybe she was just trying to move on after a really difficult divorce.
Yeah.
So it's complicated.
Yeah. This is what makes these deep dives so interesting. We're really trying to figure out what's motivating people. Is it genuine? Is it all a strategy? Or maybe a little of both.
Right. Because ultimately we're trying to answer the question, is she a grifter or is she gifted? And I have to say, sometimes I think she might be both.
Yeah.
It's like she just creates drama.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she's super talented.
She is undeniably talented, and we can't forget how successful she's been. 2 Eurovision appearances, a ton of awards, a long career in a really competitive industry. You don't do that by accident.
That's true. It takes a lot of work.
For sure.
And talent. And I guess ambition, too.
Yeah.
To stay at the top for so long.
Absolutely.
But even with all that success, she still manages to be controversial.
Yeah. It's like she's always walking that line between getting praise and being caught up in some scandal.
Kind of wild.
It is, and that's what makes her so perfect for the deep dive. We're trying to figure out, is she a visionary artist who isn't afraid to speak her mind, even if it upsets some people? Or is she a master manipulator who knows how to use controversy to her advantage?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, so we have this picture of Gabi as talented, ambitious, maybe a little bit prone to drama, but I'm still stuck on this whole Dancing with the Stars thing. Do we know what the judges even said to her? Like, what were the critiques that set her off?
Well, the articles don't go into a ton of detail about the specific critiques, but there's one quote from Gabi in an Orgo.hu article where she says, "I tried to put the setbacks behind me, but it wasn't always easy. I felt there were times when the judges went too far." She also says she felt constantly judged and that it was difficult to handle.
So she felt like the judges were being too harsh on her. But was it really bullying like she said it was?
It's hard to know without knowing exactly what they said. But what is interesting is how she chose to respond. She went public with her accusations, and she really didn't hold back. It was a bold move, and it definitely got people talking.
Yeah. It sounds like she's not afraid to stand up for herself.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between being assertive and being a diva.
For sure. And that's what we have to figure out. Are we seeing a strong woman who won't be silenced? Or someone who's used to getting her way and lashes out when she doesn't?
It's hard to tell. I mean, a part of me admires her for not backing down.
Yeah.
But another part of me wonders if she was overreacting.
I get that. It's important to look at everything and try to see things from all sides. Maybe the judges were being unfair. Maybe she really was hurt by what they said. Or maybe it was a little of both.
That's true. I mean, she's not the first celebrity to have problems with judges on a reality show. Those shows are all about drama.
Yeah, they love it.
And sometimes people just clash.
For sure.
But it does seem like Gabi's reaction went a little further than the usual back and forth.
It did. And it's interesting that even after she said all that, she tried to soften things a bit. There's a promotions.hu article where she says, "Maybe I'm a bit sensitive, but at the end of the day, I did my best."
So maybe she realized she went a little too far.
Maybe.
And was trying to get back in the public's good graces.
Could be. I mean, she's very good with the media.
She is.
She knows how to use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after all that, do we have any idea if she's a grifter or gifted?
Well, I think we're seeing a pattern here. Gabi Toth is really talented and ambitious, but she also seems to really enjoy the attention and drama. Whether she's doing that on purpose or it's just part of who she is hard to say.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it's not like we're just looking at a list of things she's done or just scandals.
Right.
We're trying to understand the person behind all that to figure out what makes her pick.
Exactly, which is hard, especially with someone as complex and contradictory as Gabi does.
It's true.
But that also makes it more interesting.
Okay, so we've talked about her career, her relationships, and that whole Dancing with the Stars drama. What else do we have in all this stuff about her? Anything that might help us understand her better?
Well, there's one more thing that I think is really interesting. It has to do with her sister, actually, Vera Toth.
A sister?
Yeah. What she has to say about Gabi might surprise you.
Okay, spill it. What does Vera have to say about Gabi?
Well, in a recent interview, Vera actually described Gabi as being super influenced by the people around her, almost to the point of being chameleon-like.
Chameleon-like. So she changes depending on who she's with.
That's what it sounds like. Vera even admitted that she sometimes struggles to understand Gabi. She said, "I often wanted to ask her, where are you in all of this?"
Wow. So even her own sister has trouble figuring her out.
Yeah, seems like it.
Okay, so that adds another layer to all of this, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Is Gabi just really good at playing everyone?
Yeah.
Like, is she carefully crafting this image to manipulate people? Or is she just a really talented artist who's easily influenced by other people?
Right. Is she the one in control? Or is she being controlled?
Yeah. This is getting more and more complicated.
It really is.
Okay, so we're seeing this picture of Gabi as talented, successful, but maybe a little bit too willing to go along with what other people want. Someone who really wants people to like her and maybe changes herself to make that happen. But then how does that explain her blow-ups? Like with the Dancing with the Stars judges.
That's a good point. What if those outbursts are like a defense mechanism? Like if she's always trying to please everyone,
Yeah.
maybe those moments of anger are her way of taking back control.
Interesting.
Like saying, hey, I'm not just a puppet. I have feelings too.
Yeah. So it's like she's stuck between these two extremes,
Yeah.
wanting to be liked and wanting to be her own person.
Exactly. And maybe that's what makes her so creative, but also so prone to drama.
So after all this digging, all these articles,
Yeah.
talking about her actions, hearing from her sister, where do we land on the big question? Perfect or gifted?
You know, I don't think there is a simple answer. And maybe that's the whole point. Maybe Gabi Toth is just a mix of both. She's definitely talented and driven and capable of amazing things. But she also seems to love the attention. And she's not afraid to stir things up to get it.
I think you're right. It's not about putting her in one category or the other.
Yeah.
It's about realizing that she's complicated,
Exactly.
just like everyone else.
Exactly. And I think that's a good lesson for all of us. People are complicated. We shouldn't try to oversimplify things.
That's a great point. So after learning all of this, how should we think about Gabi Toth?
I think the best way is to just appreciate her talent and acknowledge that she's not perfect and remember that she's still figuring things out, just like the rest of us. In the end, it's up to each person to decide what they think of her.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. We've seen the highs and lows of her career, the good and the bad parts of her personality, and how people see her. And even if we don't know for sure if she's a grifter or gifted, I think we understand her a lot better now.
I think so, too. And hopefully this deep dive made you think a little bit about the people you admire and what motivates them. Because even most famous people have their own struggles.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we'll leave you with that. Keep thinking about Gabi Toth and all the things we talked about today. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive. We'll be back next time with another fascinating look into the life of someone in the spotlight. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep